doing the voice of Hal off camera for us. And then Stanley said, no, this isn't going to work, too British. He said, let's worry about it in post-production, after the film was over. So he turned to his assistant director. Now, 2001 was filmed in its entirety just outside of London. So the crew was completely British, with a few exceptions. And this was the voice of Hal for us.
His name was Derek Cracknell.
Yeah, Derek Cracknell was the name of the assistant director. It went like this. Dive, go and take a stress pill, Dave, all like that. A little bit like working with Michael Caine. Oh yeah, I kid you not. This is exactly the way the voice of Hal was for us. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer true, I'm half crazy, over the love of you. And that was the voice of Hal for us. So let me tell you, the greatest bit of acting we had to do was to not crack up. The voice of Hal. And it was a great relief when we saw the film 2 years later, because it did take 2 years after principal photography was over to hear those golden tones of help me out.
Who was the guy?
Douglas Rains. Douglas Rains, by the way, is a very well-known Shakespearean actor who mainly works in live theater in Canada, playing leads like, you know, from his early days of playing Hamlet to King Lear. He's a very famous. He will not have anything to do with 2001 because he says, I have spent my whole life appearing in the major roles of the greatest playwright in English history, and all anybody wants to talk to me about is a job which consisted of 2 days. Gary, you're toying.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'll just put it this way. I'm happy for him. He probably lives in the back of his car. But, well, there's a reality to life. But I'm sorry he's so uptight. You know what I'm saying? He could come out and have some laughs with us, and because we've traveled all over the world with this film, and it's been a great time, hasn't it?
It's been fabulous.
We've been in Australia, Japan, Europe. I mean, last year we toured all through Europe. I mean, we just had a hell of a great time, and I'm so happy we did the job, and it was a wonderful time, and we did it. And I'll tell you one thing that happened to me on the picture, and then we'll get into questions. How's that? Did you want to have something to say over there, man? I mean,
no, I'm just here to look pretty.
What's your name?
I'm Jack Macon. I'll be here to look at the questions.
Well, Jack, we met you yesterday. Nice to see you. Have a good night.
It was okay.
Yeah. Was she cooperative?
Usually is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's give Jack a hand. What the hell he's saying? In the movie, Akira walks down the hub. And then he walks up to me, and I'm up there eating, and everybody goes, how did Kir walk up that hill like that? I mean, how did he walk up against gravity? Well, here's what happened. The camera's it's a wheel. The camera's in a fixed position at the top of the wheel with me. I'm harnessed, I'm upside down. On the first day, I'm up there, and then the idea is that Kir comes down the hub, and then he steps out on the centrifuge, then
I get first I get my meal on a tray.
Yeah, you get your meal, and then he starts walking up to me, and Lynn runs a rheostat on the centrifuge, and it begins to turn, and the camera and I, being in a fixed position, we come down to him, but when you project it, it looks like he walked up to us.
Yeah, it was an optical illusion. I just stood in place like this, and they revolved Gary down to me until the table was even with me. I just sat next to him, but it looked like I walked up tied down.
The only difference is he didn't have on a squirrel uniform.
The remarkable thing about the film is that...
Wait, I'm not just finished.
Okay, go ahead.
So, you know, what can I say? He's the captain of the ship. I have to do what he says. Anyway, so the first time we do it, Stanley said, and Stanley was a very cool guy. He was really like a cool guy. And he said, all right, Lockwood, on action, just start eating. So I've got this fork, and you got to remember, down below is this way, not this way. I'm upside down. So I take the fork and I stick it in the yellow stuff, yellow, green, and blue, was it?
Something like that.
And I stick it in the yellow stuff, and the whole plate, the whole dish just peels out of the plate and goes 65 feet down. About a Rorschach test. I've often thought 2001 was a Rorschach test for people. Well, I have to tell you, I remember looking down like that, and the entire floor was just a mess like that. Anyway, that was day one. It took a couple of days to finally get the shot, but eventually we got it because I just ate some of I hate oatmeal too. Even English cut oats I hate. And now I had to eat oatmeal with red dye in it. But anyway, we got the shot.
The other thing I just was going to say is that it's amazing when still seeing the show, the film, and how remarkable it is in so many ways to think that there is not one frame that is photographed using computer-generated special effects. There were no computer, not one, even though the computer played a major role. Everything you saw in the film was done mechanically, one way or the other. So, having said that, any questions? Did you want to have one?
Come on up. Go ahead, if you have a question.
We'll let him go.
Yeah.